What's up, wild ones? Fuck, it's been a minute, right? I've been feeling that it's time to unleash, right, at the next level. And you know me, if you've been here, if you ain't new to this, then you know there's always a calling within, for me, probably for you if you're attracted to my work, to keep going, to go deeper, to continuously excavate the wilds and the primal and the erotic and the soul and whatever that might look like, however that's demanding and commanding to be rebirthed through you at any given time, any given moment, any given breath. It's always there. This need, this pressing need to surrender to it all and to remember yourself in it, right? To be in the void, the primordial muck, right? And there are also these times, so that's like the daily, right? And then there are these times when we're being asked to show up in a way that we've known is coming, that we've felt and we've kind of said yes to, kind of like 99.9% we've said yes to. But that final 1%, or fuck that, like maybe 0.1%, it's just requiring, it's asking for a distillation back into the remembrance, back into the void, back into all that is, was, and shall be. And this is one of those moments for me. And whenever I'm feeling those places, the deepening, the quickening, there's an invitation, right? There becomes an invitation to like, hey, you want to come play and you want to come along for this ride. And so that's where I find myself. And when you're in those moments, as a creator, as a messenger, as a refugee soul refugee, when the wilds are calling, it's simply, will you say yes? And then from that place, what will you allow? Like how deep will you allow yourself to go? And we've got to go beneath the crossroads. It's not simply a looking at, okay, so there's this thing and I've been called to it and I'm going to say yes, and all of it's no, like, will you go even beneath that? Meaning, will you go beneath the intersection of identity and the wilds and the erotic? And will you go beneath the intersection of trauma and oppression and racism and homophobia and transphobia and ableism and all of the things, erasure? Will you go beneath that? Will you go all the way down into the crux of the crux of the crux? Will you go all the fucking way into the underworld of what it is? And the appearance of it, right? So not just at the crossroads, not at the intersection, what's below that, what's beneath that? Will you go into that depth in your own body, in your own breath? Will you go all the way down? Because we can't transcend anything until and unless we're willing to descend into the muck. And if you're not willing to descend, there will be no getting over anything, right? There's no, oh, like, we're gonna get past this and we're gonna call for unity and we're gonna do all this shit. No, it's not how it fucking works, right? You've got to be willing to go down, back into your everything. And then from that place, that's when you start to experience the shifting, the plates, right? The words are gone. Anyways, the plates in the earth that shift and move, that's what happens in our body. Once we begin to look and go all the way down. And as we increase our capacity to descend, we increase our capacity to come back out of the descent, to come back out of the muck, more integrated, back into the wholeness, back into soul, back into the fractal of God, created great mystery that we all are. And then that begins to inform our messaging, that informs our art, that informs how we sell, how we show up, the words that we speak, the actions that we take, the communion that we take, that we make with one another and with ourselves. And so when you're willing to go into the depths, you begin to expand your body's capacity. You begin to expand the capacity of your nervous system to hold what is in the depths. If you continuously stay, that's it. If you continuously stay on the surface of your own life, that is what you get more of. That is the finite capacity of your body, of your nervous system to handle yourself. Right? So if you've been doubting your power, if you've been doubting your ability to handle who you are and all that you are, if you have been quieting your voice or holding yourself back from the revolution at hand because I'm not quite sure, what's it gonna take? What's it gonna take? What's it gonna take of me? There's an invitation, right? The invitation then becomes to begin to expand your capacity to hold all of you, to hold all that you are, to remember yourself all the way back into yourself. But that requires us to stop playing at the surface. That requires us to go into the fucking void and to remember ourselves in the void, to go all the way down into the muck, beneath the crossroads, beneath the intersection, where all of the things begin to play and run in that river, right? That river of consciousness that only can be found and only can be felt once we go in and we go down, once we descend. And so when you're in these moments, when you know that you know that you know that you know, you're being called to go deeper, you're being called to remember yourself back at the next level, you're being called to step into the next evolution of soul, to set those boundaries, to hold those boundaries like a fucking goddess, primal goddess untamed, you fucking know it's time. Your capacity to handle that and to trust that you can handle that will only be found once you're willing to actually descend. If you stay on the surface, your capacity will also remain superficial. The capacity for depth can only be found in the depths. And so this is an invitation. This is that invitation to begin to look at, okay, so if I'm being called to go to the next level, what's it going to take? What do I think it's going to take? And then what is actually being asked of me, right? And so I'm going to invite you to write those out, journal those out, like drop them into your body, right? And let this be what I call the body-based inquiry. Let it be. Get into your body. Feel it, like, oh, like what do I think it's going to take in order for me to step into this thing? Like feel that shit, and where is that living, and what is the sensate experience of it, the resistance, the fear, the trauma, the big T trauma, the little t trauma, the systemic trauma, the ancestral trauma, the wounding, like what's here, and then what's the excitement around it, right? What's in your highest excitement around it? What's in your turn on? What is that like, oh, that erotic, ooey gooey, yes, fuck, yes, give it to me, all of the things. Where is that living in your body? And then noticing what feels like the gap between them. And this is what I call the gap work, right? Between where you are and where you perceive your desires, where you perceive what you're being called to step into, where you perceive that to be, right? And then we do the gap work, right? We do the gap work between those two places. And fuck. Once you start to drop into this, and once you allow yourself to drop into this and allowing this to become a daily inquiry, you can begin to allow also yourself to take that descent, not once, not on the weekends, not just on the full moon, but every single day. So every day becomes the descent down into the void, down into the muck, to remember yourself, back into the depths of who you are, the intersection beneath the crossroads. And then you begin to come out, you begin to come back when you're like, ooh, your messaging, ooh, your art, your beingness, your leadership, your capacity to fucking hold yourself and to handle all of that power, all of that remembrance, the God self in you, to be with it and to then transmute that out into your life, your capacity for all of these things. Right. Dude. The capacity begins to shift. Tectonic shifting to the tectonic plates. The words. But you begin to feel, and your capacity to feel spaciousness, right? You begin to feel into, so expanding, you feel the expansiveness within your own body, within your breath, within your willingness to show up and to keep showing up for your art, for your message, for the mission that was born to your soul, that your body is now being asked to be the portal of. And so your capacity to be the portal will be transformed the more that you're willing to go into the depths. And so are you willing? Are you willing? Are you willing now? Are you willing tomorrow? Are you willing in this breath? Are you willing in this breath, in this inhale, in this exhale? Are you willing? Will you say yes? And then will you continuously say yes in the big ticket moments, right? And then also in the mundane, when no one's watching, behind the scenes, when the curtain is closed, will you continue to show up? Will you continue to descend down, 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 down into your fucking everything, even when no one's there to give you the congratulations or like, holy shit, you did the damn thing, when no one's there? When no one's there but you in the fucking depths, will you continuously meet yourself there? Beneath the crossroads, beneath the intersection of all aspects of your identity, everything that has brought you into this moment, will you say yes? Will you continuously say yes? And that's where I find myself, and that's where I'm inviting you to come in and play. Yeah. And to notice what the calling is, and then notice your capacity to answer the call. The call to arms is always there. Soul is always, always, always beckoning, whispering, sometimes shouting. Depends on how much you're listening and how much you're allowing yourself to attune. Yeah, I feel like that's it. So I invite you down, 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 down into your fucking everything. Yeah. Let me know all the things. Tell me all the things that come through. You can pop it down below in the comments if you're watching this on the tubes. Or you can come hang out in the after party inside of Nikka Nation. And let me know. Let me know what comes through after you do the writing prompts, the arrows and excavation. Once you drop into them, let me know what comes through. Yeah. If you're ready to go into a deeper level of all of the fucking things, then what do I have open that you can do with me right now? You can go to therewildinggrounds.com. That'll take you into the offerings that are alive and present, evergreen, sometimes live. And if you know that it's time to go like all the way, I'm gonna take on. I'm gonna take on two new folks for high level soul refugee shit. Like you're done fucking around with the work of your soul, and you're ready, like identity stuff, systemic trauma, ancestral work, like you're ready to go all the way in, dropping into your body, all the fucking feels. Then you can go to thesoulrefugees.com and read it, and then do what it says to do. If it feels like you're ready. All right. I love you. I'll be back on this platform, magic, spatial thing. I might even start editing these things. I might add an intro. I might add an outro. Might add a fucking end card. I mean, you don't fucking know what's happening. I don't know when it's happening. I don't know if that's gonna happen. But I might actually edit some of these things. Not this one, obviously. But maybe at some point, I'll like edit something. I'll like actually apply all of the editing and filmmaking stuff that I've been studying. Maybe. Stay tuned, because that might happen. But in the meantime, come back for more shenanigans, unedited, and just fucking dope soul shit. So, yeah. If you're on Clubhouse, come at me. Not come at me. I mean like at Nikka Karli over on Clubhouse, because I'm going to start doing some live things that you do on fucking Clubhouse. Okay, that's it. I love you. Thanks for being here. As always, here's to your untaming. Bye, wild ones.